Your ass used to be beautiful.
I object to that, Steve. My ass is still beautiful. Greetings, everybody. I'm some loudmouth on the internet with an opinion. And I'm doing what every shitlord loves to do every week on the internet. Look at the latest mental breakdown from everyone's favorite asshole, Steve Shives. As part of Steve's extremely boring weekly YouTube schedule, every week Steve does a segment called You Had to Ask, where he answers cherry-picked questions from his audience. He never picks any tough questions because that'd be hard. Pretty much every week, all he really does during this sketch is talk about how everyone to the right of Karl Marx is an evil, oppressive, racist, sexist Nazi, and how much better he is than everybody else in the world. And now, this week, though, he was asked one question that I thought was particularly interesting and really shows just the depths of the hate that Steve Shives has for everyone with a difference of opinion than his. This question really shocked me in just how low he was willing to sink. I guess it really shouldn't because he sank really low before, but man, he's topped himself in terms of advocating absolute venom for the most mild disagreement. Let's dig into this little pile of hate, shall we?
John Brockman. So ContraPoints and H-Bomber Guy were part of a big lunch group that included 2 YouTube anti-feminists. Are they off the bowling team?
Now, I think somebody just slipped something past Shives, and as Bering's little prank that I so beautifully made fun of in my previous parody video of him showed, Steve is not that hard of a man to fool. I think this was a question sent to him by his critics, but phrased in a way that was just polite enough that it went over Steve's puny head. And in case you're wondering, here are the offending pictures. You know, where feminists and anti-feminists meet each other, shake hands, and then have dinner together like friendly, good-natured adults, despite their disagreements. The horror.
No, they're 2 of our best bowlers. I'm not going to kick 2 of our best bowlers off the team. I hated that picture. I hated that picture.
The hate is swelling in you now.
And I hated what it represents. I hate this idea that we should all get along.
People getting along with each other? People eating dinner together like civilized adults? Oh my God!
That people who make it their profession to harass and bully people and promote ignorance and intolerance should be treated like friends when we meet them in person, and we should all just get along and pretend as though we're all starting at zero.
That's a completely slanderous attack, Steve. I don't always agree with Greg or June either, but when have they ever promoted harassment against anyone? Name a specific example, Steve, or shut up.
When we meet each other in person, I think that's horseshit. And
I can feel your anger.
No, I would not have sat at a table with those 2 people. But I also acknowledge that my way is not the way of everybody.
Nor is it the way of anyone with the slightest bit of maturity or class.
And I am not going to say, well, H-Bomber Guy sat down at a table with these fucking shitty people, therefore he's not my friend anymore. ContraPoint sat down at a table with these shitty people, therefore he's not my friend anymore. The fact that they were willing to keep company with 2 people who I wouldn't piss on if they were on fire.
Boy, let the hate flow through you.
Let me repeat what he just said.
With 2 people who I wouldn't piss on if they were on fire.
Steve, I have to be honest now. I dislike you. I dislike you very, very strongly. But if I ever saw you on fire, I would throw water on you and put the fire out immediately. Unless you're either a child molester or a terrorist or someone really indescribably bad, and you're not, as far as I know anyway, you should care about human life, and you should not wish that anyone would burn to death just for disagreeing with you. That just shows what a vindictive, cruel, and sadistic human being you really are, Steve Shives.
Means that I don't understand that. I wouldn't have done that myself. I think that kind of thing is ultimately counterproductive.
Engaging with people you disagree with is not counterproductive. I would have massive more respect for your beliefs, Steve Shives, if you would just argue them in front of people. If you would just talk to people. The fact that you feel the need to block everyone on the world you disagree with, and I do mean everyone. You blocked me on Twitter within 3 hours of starting my Twitter account, and I never tweeted a thing at you. Really does do nothing but drive people away from your ideology and just seal yourself in your little echo chamber.
But it doesn't mean that I think that Contra and H. Bomber Guy are bad people. And I don't hold it against them. And I don't think that they should be ashamed of themselves or whatever. It's not something I would have done, and it's something that I wish people wouldn't do. But I don't make such demands of people that you can't take a picture with somebody. There was someone who came up to me at the most recent Reason rally, and I didn't recognize who it was. If I had recognized who it was, I wouldn't have consented to have my picture taken with him, but I didn't know who it was. And we took a picture. I smiled and I complimented him on his shirt, and we had a nice little moment and we took a picture. And then later I realized, oh shit, that's who that was. Damn, I wish I could take that picture back. But I can't. So no, I don't.
My God, is that petty and childish. You're upset that you may have talked to and touched and taken a photograph with somebody who didn't agree with you? Ooh, you got their cooties on you. Grow up, Steve.
I don't hold it against them. And as far as I'm concerned, they're on the bowling team as long as they feel like bowling with us.
In other words, you still accept them as human beings as long as they still parrot your far-left talking points. But if they dared go far enough away that they actually disagreed with the tenets of third-wave feminism, then you would what again?
With two people who I wouldn't piss on if they were on fire.
So he doesn't agree with them, but at least he respects them enough that he wouldn't allow them to burn to death. Aren't you a swell guy, Steve? Go fuck yourself. I'm some loudmouth on the internet, and you just heard my opinion.